Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to install the classic editor in WordPress. And we are using InstaWP to set up our WordPress environment. This service allows you to launch a disposable WordPress installation in under 1 minute. It does everything for you, such as setting up SSL, so check it out, instawp.io. So today we are going to be installing the classic editor. And by default, WordPress comes with the Gutenberg editor. So if we open our sample post, we'll see that this is the Gutenberg editor. So we have blocks, it's called Gutenberg blocks. And these blocks are used to construct your web pages. So if you click this plus icon, you can select some blocks that you can add to your page to construct it. So as you can see, we can add a heading block or a table block if we want to add a table or a heading. So let's just remove this block. And this one as well. All right, so many people actually prefer using the classic editor, I guess, since it was used for a number of years before Gutenberg was introduced. So I'm going to show you guys how to install the classic editor. We just want to go back to our dashboard, and we are going to be installing the classic editor plugin. So it was removed from WordPress as the default editor, but it was introduced as a plugin. So to install it, go to plugins, click add new, and we have our classic editor right here. But if this result was not displayed, we would need to go over to our search box and type classic editor. So once the page is loaded, click install now and click activate once it's done. Alright, so we have installed our classic editor, and what we can do right now is configure our plugin settings. So let's click settings under classic editor. Alright, so these are the settings that we can configure. Under default post category, we have uncategorized. This is the default post category. So we can actually change this if we have other categories that we can switch to, but we don't. So let's move to our next section. It says default post format. So there are a number of formats that we can choose from. So this is something that you can configure as well. The next option is default editor for all users. So we can actually view our posts in a new tab. Just click posts, opening a new tab. And let us view one of our posts to view our classic editor. So this is our classic editor right here. So as you can see, it is no longer the default Gutenberg editor. So this is the interface. Let's go back to our settings, and we can also configure this setting, allow users to switch editors. So if you select this, a user would be able to switch between the classic editor and the Gutenberg editor. So the next option is post via email, and you can configure these settings to publish a post via email. So this plugin allows you to configure all of these options. And lastly, we have update services. So you can configure the settings for this section if this is a feature that you use. So let's go back to our classic editor. So this is our sample post in our classic editor. And editing text using the classic editor is quite simple. So if we wanted to edit our heading, for example, we would just need to highlight the part that we want to edit and then scroll down the heading menu to select the type of heading that we want. And if we wanted to format our text, for example, if you wanted to make this text bold, our heading, we would just need to highlight the part that we want to make bold and click the bold button on the toolbar. So using the classic editor to edit text is quite easy. And like I mentioned, most people prefer using the classic editor to the Gutenberg editor. A lot of people think that it's less intimidating and there's less of a learning curve associated with using the classic editor. But luckily for us, WordPress did not take out the classic editor altogether. They rolled out the Gutenberg editor as the default editor, but they gave us the option to use the classic editor by introducing it as a plugin. So let us know which editor you prefer using down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in the next one.